Hey you guys, do you know there's an entire Reddit thread dedicated to stupid questions?
Well, we've got some stupid answers, so let's give them a try. Welcome to Try Every Day. Today we're going to be trying to answer some of Reddit's stupidest questions. The way it's going to work, we have a question here. We're going to try to answer it ourselves first. Okay. And then we're going to look through the thread of the actual answers from the other Redditors. Why is there a 0 button on the microwave? I mean, who is eating their food for 0 seconds?
Oh my God, this is gonna be, well, dear Redditor, because there are big numbers that have zeros in it as well.
What's a big number?
10, 20, 30.
Okay, you're getting bigger with each number, I agree.
If I microwave, I'm using the numbers from Lost. So I don't do a minute, I do either 4, 8, because it's 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, 23 seconds, or you add them all up to 108. So I never do a minute, I do 108 if I can.
Why?
Because I'm neurodivergent. I don't know.
Some of the other highlight answers we have, I microwave my iced coffee for exactly 0 seconds every 10 minutes to keep it cold. Someone said, is this a child to themselves? And then they checked the profile and it was in fact a child.
That's so cute. Why are millennials scared to talk on the phone? I do feel attacked.
Yeah.
I heard a lady was making $1 million a year by teaching millennials how to talk on the phone. Is it really that scary that you need to pay someone to teach you? I'm getting nods in the corner. I'm not afraid to talk on the phone.
I'm afraid to answer the phone. Once I've gotten past that barrier, the conversation's fine, but it's the mystery.
I am interested to find out if this is specifically a millennial thing or just anyone who grew up with phones, because we are the last generation that grew up with a house phone. And so you would hear the ring and you go, Mom, phone!
Yeah.
As a prepubescent child, I would answer the phone and they would go, hi, Mrs. Kornfeld.
Same with me.
And I'd go,
hi, Mrs. Habersberger.
Oh, no, this is, I'll get her.
This is Keith.
Did you guys also, growing up, know to lie if you were home alone?
No, I just said, she's not here. She won't be here for hours. My dad's not here either. He only gets to get home at 4:30. So it's just me.
I am also realizing we didn't talk at all about the woman who's making $1 million a year.
Yeah.
We're doing it wrong.
Teaching people how to talk on the phone?
Should we stop making videos?
Do you need to learn how to talk on the phone?
I'll
teach
teach
Keith
you.
Habersberger, and this is my buddy Zach. We can teach you for the low cost of $1 million a year.
This is exciting because it's starting to become Gen Wars in the comments. So, Did you mean Gen Z? Ooh, tell them. And then I've got Zoomers are the one who don't say anything when they answer phones. Response from Time Moose. I was taking some classes last year. There was a guy who worked at the school who helped people get jobs. He was telling me how these younger students, 18 to 22, Gen Z, that would never knock or pop their head through a door, but instead just stared at him through the door window until he noticed them and said something.
It's true. You do sort of stand in front of this. I'll show you. So, Kaylin, so we have like a sign on our first of all, our whole office is glass. You've seen it. And lots of people come up, they go, knock, knock. But Kaylin will go. Would the bar for hygiene change if our immune system was equipped for it? This is a smart question. If we were dirtier, our immune system would be able to navigate being dirtier.
But is this positing that the reason that we take showers because we would get sick otherwise? Because that's not why
But it's why people started, because people didn't used to bathe and they would just die.
I can't feel awake unless I've showered, and sometimes I'll try to wash my face and get the eye googies out, but it just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah, the shower in the morning is big. I agree, I gotta say. It's sort of positing, I think, not just the shower, but like hygiene in general. Like if let's say we didn't all wash our hands anymore.
Wait, you do that?
Do I wash my hands? But we all stopped, then gradually our immune system would get more used to E. coli coming in our mouth constantly.
I'm assuming they think that we shower because we get sick if we don't shower, but maybe they're just saying if our immune system were such that we didn't get smelly or sticky or gross, would we shower less? And like the answer is yeah.
This doesn't talk about showering at all. You brought the shower in.
What does it say?
It just says hygiene.
So then what are they talking about?
Let's see what the other people think.
bar
Our
for
immune
hygiene.
system is built for it, lol. We are just social and don't like when we're stinky. And someone wrote exactly. Only a few upvotes for that, though. Some animals have evolved to eat rotting flesh without issue. Eventually, humans could adapt and evolve to do the same thing, but many of us would die, and only strong would survive. And then someone wrote, yeah, vultures are what came to mind.
No, we got to be careful here. Reddit gets into eugenics real fast.
Hygiene and our immune system are interlinked. To a certain degree, a lack of hygiene boosts your immune system. I'm not talking about your dirty little wounds or not burying corpses. What? Who cares? What are these people talking about? Who f***ing cares?
How did you manage bathing your toddler? They're so squirmy when dry, I can't imagine it'd be easy to do the job when they're wet.
It's actually hardest between infant and toddler when they're starting to amble. Yeah. Now Henry can, if he slips in the tub, he'll just sit back up. But in that in-between, they're slippery little goblins and they might just drown themselves.
They are squirmy. I've never actually found her to be slippery. That's not a problem that I've encountered. And the first time I picked her up, I was afraid she would slip out right like a banana peel. But turns out skin isn't that.
Henry's slippery as hell.
Well, are you putting like oil on him?
We put soap on him.
Is it gonna get harder? Because it was a big concern of mine, and then I was like, oh, you just pick him up and wrap the towel. Gets harder?
It gets harder. Henry realized he can purposefully slip in the tub. And I sit and watch horrified. And I'm just like,
what do you
ready?
mean he slips on purpose?
Well, we have a non-slip mat, but it doesn't cover the whole tub. There's like, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 square inches it doesn't touch. So he'll go over there. He'll just go, and he'll laugh, and he'll thrash around, and then he'll ask for his spray bottle, and he'll spray my hair.
So to answer your question, how did you manage bathing your toddler? Just barely.
Just barely. Barely.
By the skin of our teeth.
Yeah, he's slippery. What do other people say? What do other parents think?
My mom would wash me with the potatoes. I'd clean the potatoes, parentheses, and take a few nibbles. and she'd clean me. I don't know that that's gonna really address the slippery problem.
Potatoes have a horrible texture in water, and then your hands get all, ugh. I could never bathe with potatoes. I will say if you give your toddler a task, it's easier to clean them. I mean, there are days where it's not so hard. And then there are days where he wants to float, and so that means he lays on his back. And then he wants to spin, and then he wants to slip and slide, and then it's time to get out of the tub. He says, no! And he splashes all over the place. And then I'm like, we gotta get out of the tub, man. There's no negotiating with a terrorist. Why do we reproduce?
I believe it's called biological imperative. This is beyond
I believe it's called biological imperative.
This goes beyond humans. It's to be evolutionarily successful. It is the ability to create the most offspring that survives and then has more offspring.
And?
Yeah.
Because it feels good! Let's see what the Redditors think. Sorry, this post has been removed by the moderator. Okay. That's a very funny one to print out.
Why did we print it?
I don't know, but it's funny. Someone wrote, the first thing DNA did when it formed was create a way to protect itself and self-replicate. We are just macrocosms of that. That's true. The first,
So, sorry, did your eye see that and think we just ate macaroons?
We just ate macaroons because of that. Next question. We like to have sex. Woo!
How much blood actually
Here we go.
How much blood actually comes out during a woman's period? Is it like nosebleed levels of blood or closer to severe shark attack levels of blood? Well, you asked the two right guys for this.
That's right. 2 quarts.
Hold on.
I'm trying to think about, does a Diva cup hold roughly the same amount as a shot glass?
That's sort of what I'm thinking. Like, if you were playing beer...
That's basically what I'm doing here. I'm like, okay, well, if a period lasts 3 to 7 days, you probably empty the Diva cup 2 to 4 times a day when it's at its most flow. It's an ounce and a half in a Diva cup. So I'm going to guess 12 to 16. For some people, maybe as many as 20. For some people, as few as 8.
I think it's a solo cup's worth of period blood.
Let's see what Reddit thinks.
Have you seen The Shining? It really varies. When I was young, I had very light periods. Then perimenopause hit, and the amount of blood I was losing was startling. And I started wondering if I should go to the ER because sometimes I really thought I was gonna bleed out. Men have no idea what we are dealing with.
It's true.
Okay, so what's your answer?
12 to 16 ounces.
I'm gonna go with the Mountain Dew bottle.
You're gonna go with a 20 to 26 ounce is because the liter, I don't know what a liter converts to in ounces.
The amount of blood a person can lose during their period is between 6 and 12 tablespoons.
Tablespoons.
Because there is like uterine lining and other bodily substances.
So
in
we're
it.
okay, but now how much is it all? Do you think this person was asking how much of it is blood? I think they're just asking how much.
Yeah, I think it's how much gunk.
Stop saying gunk.
Okay, gush.
It is funny because the room, just by coincidence, is all the guys over here and all the women sitting over there. For the gunk and gush, you got a lot of laughs over here and none over there.
All right, equally important next question. This one's about toast. When using a 2-slice toaster, cooking 4 or more slices of toast, do you refill the toaster with the next slices or butter the cooked slices first?
I'm taking the toast out, putting it on the plate, quickly popping 2 more in to start the heating process, and during the process of heating, I'm buttering my toast. My goal is to get all pieces of toast to their destination in the quickest time possible.
That is the correct answer. But we must all agree that those few seconds lost are a few seconds less of the best butter absorption by the hot toast for the ideal toast experience.
Yeah, and that does hurt, and that is a sacrifice you make when you grow a family.
Okay, what do the other people think? Someone says, I agree, but with something like peanut butter, wait, if you don't, there will be melted peanut butter dripping on you. That's true, peanut butter is a crazy butter. Ma'am, you say that like having melted butter dripping on you is a bad thing.
If tomatoes are fruits, why does a fruit salad never invite them? Vegetables and fruits. We have collectively decided as a society that we're not going to actually classify them based on what they are, but what function they serve.
Yeah, we love that.
Tomatoes a fruit, sure, because it's got seeds, blah, blah, blah. Hell no, it's a vegetable.
It's a vegetable.
Because you eat it with the vegetables.
Cucumber is a fruit.
No, that's a
Are you
vegetable.
f***ing me?
A cucumber is a vegetable because you eat it like a vegetable.
If you dip it in ranch, it's not a fruit.
Knowledge is knowing that tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is never putting it in a fruit salad. I feel like I would say knowledge is knowing tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is calling it a vegetable anyway. Technically, salsa is a fruit salad. Ketchup is a fruit smoothie.
Sure.
If ketchup is a fruit smoothie, then French fries are a salad, right?
Hell yeah.
In bra sizes, why is AA smaller than A, but double D is bigger than D? So a AA is smaller than an A, which I didn't know. I actually assumed AA's were bigger. I just assumed because the double D's are bigger, and in pop culture, they talk about double D's all the time.
I've heard about double D's, and I feel like I've heard about double A's, but I don't think, are there double B's and double C's? There certainly must be. There certainly must be.
You're right. And they're triple D's, too.
And then I also know that there's a difference between cup and chest.
Okay. Answers. The Busty Trustees will have to incur on that on their next mandatory memory meeting at the Dimension Convention.
Really good. Very
Very
fun.
good. This is from Mike Tidbits, which is almost titbits. Twice as small is smaller, twice as big is bigger. A lot of women's clothing is kind of like this. I'm a size 16, for example, which is basically extra large, but so is 18. I find it a lot more effective than trying to guess what a given company decided was large, but it's still not perfect. Exact measurements could be nice, but they'll never fit exactly, so I feel like it would just be confusing. That's it for the information.
Yeah, smaller is smaller, bigger is bigger.
Small, small, and big, big.
Small, small, big, big.
So you
Small,
got
small,
it.
big, big.
So we nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay, one more question.
Do non-picky eaters eat everything? But a common criticism I see towards picky eaters is that they should just eat it, which confuses me because why would someone just eat something they didn't like? Can non-picky eaters just eat everything?
Well, as someone who eats everything, I eat lots of things that I don't like. Sometimes it's because it's a healthy choice. Sometimes it's because it is made and available and I don't have time to be choosy. And sometimes I hear somebody say that the bite of food they just took was the worst bite they've ever had, and I must know what that tastes like.
I think a picky eater, it's more of a vibe than a food. So I have foods I don't like, but a picky eater, I think, tends to shut out genres of food.
Do you not think you're a picky eater?
Well, I'm a picky eater by force.
By circumstance. He wishes he could eat less.
Yeah, I have dietary restrictions.
So you have the intentions of a non-picky eater and the body of a picky eater?
I don't consider myself a picky eater. I consider myself a pain in the ass. I think it's different.
Because a picky eater is somebody who really only eats 10 or less different things. If you become my friend and you're like that, I'm gonna do everything I can to beat that out of you. And just for clarity, we're talking about people who are not willing to try new things, not someone who has a clinical aversion to certain types of foods.
I don't like peas, and I'm sensitive to onion and garlic. But I don't really refuse something unless it's a dish made mostly of fresh or canned peas. I'll eat pretty much anything else unless there's an ethical concern. With picky eaters, I tend to think they're likely going to refuse something even if their disfavored food is a minute ingredient that's barely perceptible. They tend to be really firm with no wiggle room and aren't willing to try different preparations of food. I think that's valid.
Yes. There are people, they have a picky thing that they don't like, but if they don't know that thing is in the food, and they'll eat it and they'll love it. But I find, don't tell them, because they'll then choose that they don't like that in the future. Just let it ride. Once I made Becky a grilled cheese with mayonnaise instead of butter because we didn't have butter. She said it was delicious. I didn't say anything about it. She doesn't like mayonnaise.
I've done that to Watson a lot.
It's mayonnaise is delicious. You're out of your mind. She
Never
likes
done it
aioli.
correctly.
She likes ranch dressing. I'm like, that's mayonnaise. It's all mayonnaise here.
I've yet to find something I don't find delicious. Maybe like stinky tofu, little boy pea eggs. What?
Little boy pea eggs?
Dish in China where they boil eggs and they pour the urine of children on the eggs.
I'm sorry, this little boy pea eggs are real? I don't like this.
I watched one singular YouTube video about it because I had to know. So I'm not an expert.
Little boy pea eggs?
No.
Seriously though, those piss eggs are the worst thing I've ever seen. All right, well those may have been some stupid questions, but I feel a little smarter.
Yeah, I feel
haven't
smart
answered
too.
them. Well, that's something we've been trying today. Let us know in the comments what you've been trying, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.
Bye.